Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Pipeline. I'm your host today, Daren Tazz. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's having a magical Thursday evening, as it is. Today, I am joined by not one dub, not two dub, definitely not four dub. He's not there yet. 3 dubs. How's it going, buddy?
Doing
How are
good.
you?
I finally know how to pronounce your last name. I was for the longest time I couldn't read it out.
What did you think my name was?
I thought it was like Mick Clemens.
Oh, well, I mean, that's how you're supposed to say my last name, but I say it McClemens. So whatever one you want, to say, I'm fine.
Sounds more fun, Mick Clemens. I climbed to the top, Mick Clemens.
How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Daren, do you know the channel called Black Lion? Yeah, I used to watch Black Lion a lot when I was a bit younger. But yeah, I hope that channel is doing well. But how is everyone doing today? Stranger in the chat, hello party. I'm on time. You are on time. Speaking of the party, we got like half the party here today. I sent the link to the rest of our party as well, so maybe one of them will pop in at some point.
Party Nation, 50% off.
This was the episode, man, where I wasn't quite sure what to do. Like, I had planned out, so Taz is currently on his break. He's currently taking care of a lot of stuff at home, doing his stuff. So I was like, all right, I have about 2 weeks worth of stuff I know to talk about. And then I was like, oh, we're on week 3. Now what do I do? There's zero news. Like the news I was able to find for the week are so bare bones. Half of them are like not even news. There's like maybe 2 proper news stories here.
That, and we like talk a lot about it on Party Nation, so it's kind of like
that is the thing too that I try to avoid. I was like, okay, so we do the Party Nation podcast on Tuesdays now.
Mm-hmm.
I do mine usually Wednesdays to Thursdays. And it's like, okay, how do I approach this that's not just doing what we did a day prior? How do I switch it up? And I try to find other news stories that we don't talk about. So like whenever there's one Lance like forgets about, I was like, yes, now I can talk about it fresh without having already talked about it.
You'll always be safe with Star Wars.
I hope to see Brainiac in Superman Lois season 4. I'd love to see Brainiac. I don't know if they got that kind of budget now. Maybe. I mean, who do we think the main villain for 4 is going to be? Like, do we just think it's Lex, or do you think there's someone else besides Lex?
I think there might be like Lex being the mastermind, but I believe that the big bad will be like he's controlling someone to fight Superman.
Sure. Kind of like last season.
Yeah, kind of like Doomsday.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that's something we see a lot. Like, I think Lex often plays more of a character in Superman's life compared to like being the main villain, right? Being the big guy punching Superman. But I'm still partially hoping for the like Lexo suit at some point during season 4.
I do think that if it is the final season, I kind of want it's not like an ending, more like there's still going to be Superman.
100%.
So like an open book kind of ending where where like I want like a ship to like come down and we all know it's Supergirl.
That'd be fun.
Like just like end it with Supergirl just like in the pod, and no, they don't have to show the face. They don't have to do anything. It's just the pod.
I would really love an ending where I don't know how you do it, but like in the Incredibles film, right? Like you end it with like the like Underminer coming in. He's like, I've been underneath you, but who's beneath me? You know, that whole ending, and the whole thing is like them pairing up to fight the bad guy. I want a scene like that where it's like, okay, they go on to fight more villains. Maybe it's Brainiac, maybe it's Lobo, maybe it's like Condiment King. I don't know. Like have it be someone real fun. And yeah, I do think Superman Lois has to end very open ended. Like please, no cliffhangers in season 4. Don't do it.
My
like,
favorite,
sorry.
finale is obviously Smallville because of the fact that it was an open ending, meaning like we can have our imagination go wild, and imagine that he's still being Superman. Then we get
Sure.
Crisis, and they just F that up.
What up, Promo Central? How's it going, buddy? How's it going, Luke?
I still have like a bad blood with the whole Crisis cameo because for me, in no right mind would Superman willingly give up his powers to also not like walk on the street and see a mugger and not do anything.
Yeah. I also think there's a lot of missing context, right? Like obviously we didn't see what led to him wanting to do that. I personally kind of like it because I had always felt like more than other Superman, this Clark wanted to be more human, right? I do think he did kind of want that normal life. But I definitely get why people didn't like it. And if
I would have been more acceptable if it's Blue K. If it's Gold K and they show that it's Gold K, I'll be more pissed off. Blue K, he can just take it off and get his powers back.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, if we ever get that like project with like all of them coming back again, I would say retcon it. I don't think it would take that much. Like, just say the one we saw in Crisis was like an alternate reality. Like ours was Earth 50 and that's Earth 49 or something, right?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense to Earth 153, 156 or whatever. What was Smallville's Earth? Is a nod to the creators of Smallville, where they said no tights, no Superman. So I don't believe it's Smallville's Earth. I believe it's an alternate version of him still being no tights, no flights, no Superman.
Sab says, I heard someone named Lisa Ann is rumored to play Wonder Woman in the DCU. Don't get bad, I didn't know who that was until today. I don't know who that person is. Do we know who that is?
No, she's new to me.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not true. That's just BS. She's apparently she does a different kind of film than we're used to watching on the big screen.
Oh, excellent.
I hate I had to look it up. I hate I had to be like, who is this person? Oh,
we don't have a dirty mind.
Imagine I just share it.
Don't go there.
And I'm just like, let's look what this person's been in. Oh gosh.
We don't watch that.
Oh gosh. The Stranger, I would love to see him, but I don't think they have the budget for him in season 4. No, still on the last thing. No, I mean, I would love to, I honestly save Brainiac for Superman. Like, I mean, save him for like the DCU, I think.
I don't even want him in the DCU for not the first movie anyways.
No, I think, you know what, I've said Brainiac for the like big Justice League villain, like bringing him, like everyone has to come together to take him down. I think would be a really good thing. Like we have the Superman movie, we have the Supergirl movie, and then wrap it all together kind of with Justice League.
And I don't want Lex to be like the forefront villain of the first movie either,
Mm-mm.
because
No.
I believe he's supposed to be like the ultimate bad guy for Superman, but like give him breadcrumbs
Yeah,
and
no, like make him the
lead
like
up,
big bad, the final like by movie 5 maybe we can finally do it. But
like
like
Lex
have him
and
be a
Brainiac team up.
yeah, like have him be a character throughout the films. Like we need to see because I think what made Smallville so great is we got to live with Lex before he took that turn. So when he
Yeah,
did, it was so painful, and I
you
want that here.
you got to see the progression of him turning evil.
100%. It was great, and that's why he's still the best. Like I don't know if he'll ever have that many hours of someone playing Lex ever again. We had 7 seasons, right, of
10
that man.
well
12.
10 years of mentions, but
Yeah.
but he was 7 years fully on Lex, and then he came back for the finale.
Mm-hmm.
He gave the fans what they wanted,
Alrighty.
and he's not even the real Lex. He's a bunch of clones. He like rebuilt himself.
Let's talk about that whole Lex casting thing that went around. That was so ridiculously silly that just people believed it was a real casting.
Who was it from?
It was a porn star. so
Oh,
so so like that was going around, and then people were like, James Gunn, is this true? And he's like, no, you idiots, is not true. Morons. I did not cast this actor to play one of the most famous characters in the whole DCU. Like, no, of course not.
he
And the
also had
fact,
to he also had to clarify that he's not making a young Superman. He's making a
yeah.
Superman movie.
I also want to say, like, not that sex workers can't book big gigs, but I think that one was so ridiculous that I think it did need to get called out on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would have to like stop doing their past work and then go to acting, because people bring up the past work and they'll never get a job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what all that entails. And what's okay and not okay to say, because again, I don't want to come across as I'm like they're not real actors. Like I don't want to go down that path because I know a lot
Oh,
of
they're
them are
actors.
good actors,
They
right?
fake
Like
it a lot.
yeah. Oh gosh. I wish Cisco came back. He didn't give the fans what they wanted. Um, I don't know what happened with Cisco, man. I really don't, because I don't think it's
um,
anyone's fault, really, right? Because I doubt Eric Wallace. I bet Eric Wallace asked him to come back, and I bet Carlos wanted to. Like, I don't think it was on either one of them being like, we're not bringing back the show's most popular character. Like, I don't think that's what happened.
there would be a wig involved.
Yeah, because they cut off all his hair.
All gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I still wonder, because like we live in a time where you could just get him on a phone call, get him on a Zoom call, and they didn't. Like, I don't know why that didn't happen. I really, really don't.
And they didn't even mention him.
They mentioned him a couple times.
They mentioned him
I think
like
it was like twice.
during season 7 and
They
8.
did 9. They did 9.
No,
I
they
know when, yeah, when during the like Dreamer one, they mentioned like get Cisco, get Diggle, get blah blah blah.
oh, okay.
I think they mentioned him another time besides that too. But
I
I
think
wanted
that's the only
more.
one.
Like I wanted much more. I don't know.
My only complaint about that is the whole like 1 minute she's not flying and then the next one she's flying. Like what's her name? Cecile.
That's what I said. All right, let's hop into Me Too Stranger. Let's hop into some of these news stories. Guys, feel free to keep dropping those questions, and we will try to get to all of them. Now, this first news story here, guys, it's very important. It's very serious. Probably the most important news story we've ever talked about on this show. let's make our way to some Teen Titans Go, 3 dubs. Very important news here. Season 9 of Teen Titans Go is reportedly in the works. This is going to change everything. This is going to...
Why is it saying DCU?
Well, I just do all the DC kind of stuff under DCU. Just like,
Okay.
DC Universe. Like, I got the MCU and I got the blah, 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 and blah, blah,
No,
whatever.
it's an Elseworld story, right?
I just put it all under DCU. Because it's all a DC Universe. Listen, Teen Titans Go, man, is a weird show. So I don't watch Teen Titans Go.
Nope.
I know a lot of people do. I think we are getting to a point. I think the hate for Teen Titans Go is too strong. I really do, because I think
it's the ones that hate it are the ones that saw 2003 Teen Titans.
Well, no, I mean, I simply do think that, like, we don't like the show because it's not our demographic. It wasn't made for us. Like, we're not supposed to be sitting there every Saturday being like, why is Robin wearing thin pants? Why did they kill the Waynes again? Like, like, that's not what we're supposed to be doing each week.
And this is getting to a younger audience, so younger audience are going to love it. But for us who've grown up with the 2003 Teen Titans, it feels like a downgrade.
Yep. And, I think it's actually really funny because the people who grew up with Teen Titans are now, not yet, but they're about to be grown up. Like, they're about to be looking at, like that was the GOAT. That was so good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're in, 10th, 11th grade now being like, all right, So, I think that's kind of funny. And I wonder how long Teen Titans Go is going to last. Like, I wonder if it becomes like the Family Guy for, like, Cartoon Network, where it's season 57 of Teen Titans Go. It just never
already passed the norm of seasons.
Yeah, Cartoon Network doesn't normally last 9 seasons.
Nope.
That's it's interesting, man. I wonder, because honestly, because it outlived Titans, the show, the live action show. I bet it might live out whatever the DCU does. Because I do think the DCU will do Titans at some point. I really do, sooner than later.
I feel like they're going to do. I mean, they've already done animation Teen Titans, which was arguably better than the Teen Titans Go. But the drawing is much better.
Hi, Burrow.
I'm kind of used to realistic drawing, aside from big head drawings. Like, as you see Teen Titans Go. When I think of animation, I think normal looking. So I'm like, it's a acquired taste to watch Teen Titans Go in your 30s.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, again, we're not meant, right? Like, it's not meant for us. It's meant for, but again, I appreciate what they do for the older audience as well that do stick around. Like, there are a lot of jokes that I do think are really funny, and I do think that they work.
And they go over kids' heads.
Absolutely. Why didn't Florian Luma return for the series finale? What do we know what that's in reference to?
Florian, I gotta look her up, because
if that's another porn star, I swear. Get back to us.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's Alex's
Maggie?
Yeah, Maggie, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, was there a reason for her to it's about Alex's wedding. I don't know where she would have fit.
That would have been really awkward.
Yeah, I personally, I wouldn't have wanted her to, because I feel like that just brings in forced drama that I personally don't want.
And if she didn't have a TV show, she would have been in the finale, and she would have been the one that's marrying Alex.
Yeah. That's true. She didn't want to be a recurring, right? I think that's
Yeah,
what I remember.
she had another TV show that
Mm,
became like a main thing, so she decided to leave Supergirl, and so they wrote her character in a way to where she doesn't want kids. Um, and that drew a wedge into Alex's future, so that's how they broke up.
yep.
If she didn't want to leave, that story wouldn't have happened, and we would have had um, Maggie and Alex as the end game.
Yeah. Probably. I did enjoy her while she was on the show.
She
I
was
thought,
like awesome. Fun fact: Maggie is actually tied to Batwoman.
yeah, 100%. That would have been very funny if she came back over there. Breaking news. This is, I mean, I think we'll talk about this news for hours and hours and hours on end. Creature Commando season 1 will officially have 7 episodes. What a shocker! What a ear cooler, man. No, I mean, I saw this 2 weeks ago. I didn't even put it in last week because
Wow,
I
I
was
did
like,
not know that. Just kidding.
I'm not even gonna put this in here because there's not really much worth talking about. But I was like, we need more stuff to talk about. Let's throw it in there. Creature Commandos. How are we feeling?
I'm really curious of what they would look like in live action because they're
Well, I mean,
both
I
they're
we're
mostly
getting them in live
CGI.
action at some point, right? Because the
Yeah,
whoever's
eventually,
will
but
play both.
like the voice actors that are going to voice them are going to be the ones in live action.
100%.
So I'm kind of curious to see how they pull off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CGI characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think James Gunn often goes for like the practical effect, right? Like we always saw Weasel. Weasel looked really good.
Wait, you've seen them?
Yeah, Suicide
Oh,
Squad. The Suicide Squad,
didn't he die?
and then he came back to life at the very end.
Oh, well, I totally blanked on that one.
And also, I mean, will probably be like a new Earth, right? So they can do whatever they want. Like they can make that canon, they cannot. It is what it is.
Hey, Chainsaw.
Blue Beetleverse. I do want to say, I forgot to do it when we started. No spoilers for Blue Beetle. I've seen it. Fandoms have seen it, but we want to make sure that anyone who hasn't seen it isn't spoiled. I would ever want to enjoy this movie as much as I can. But spoilers, I loved it. Did you love it? Like without like saying, did you enjoy it at least?
I really was amazed by the fact that it like the things that we saw in the trailer they were out of context.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting to see it kind of like prove me wrong. Obviously the one line that people were complaining about, the Batman is a fascist, that whole that whole line right there was taken out of context. Don't believe it. That's all I'll say.
Absolutely. I had a great time with it, and I hope, yes, go see it. Go watch the movie. It's really fun. It's really good.
For me, it's a 9 out of 10.
Oh wow!
I have there was a one cringe moment. I won't tell you what it is, but it was just like awkward watching it.
Creature Commandos, though. I mean, what are kind of our expectations for the show? Because like, I'm excited for the show, but I'm still not completely sold on the fact that this is our first project. Like, this is how we're entering the universe.
Yeah.
I'm still not completely sold on that. I would rather start with either Waller or, I think Superman is always a good place to start. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, as I'm not too keen on watching animation over live action, but I will as soon as it's basically I'm not going to be watching it when it comes out. I'm going to be watching it when we get the news that where they're going to be in the live action, so then I can be fresh when I watch it.
You could just like
Because if
rewatch
I
it though.
because if I'm watching it like when it comes out and if 3 years pass, I'm not going to remember what happened in the first.
You could just like rewatch it though.
No, I'll be like watching it like there will be one long ass story.
Yeah, but then you're missing out on those 7 weeks of us talking about it.
I'll get the gist of it. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be spoiled anyway, so.
Seems very complicated.
I'm not too keen on watching animation. I'll try to avoid it if possible. Like when I was watching Justice League World, I was completely disappointed.
Barrow says, rumor, Chainsaw is going to play Green Arrow in the DCU. I actually heard it was going to be Beyonce, but who knows? Who knows? Chainsaw's not a bad choice, I guess. Stranger says, I think this is a secret reboot for the Suicide Squad, and it's going to come out that James Gunn Suicide Squad isn't canon. I mean, I don't think we should go in expecting anything's canon, right? This is a new Earth. This is a new start. Like, anything that we saw before, just think of it as not canon. We're starting fresh. And then if they bring anything over, think of it like that's what happened here. Like that is here, but it's a little different. Just like any kind of reboot. But yeah, I mean, I think 7 episodes is a good start. I think that's a good number. I'm curious if they're 20-minute long episodes or if they are like the 40-minute long episodes. Normally they're 20 minutes, but times are changing. You know what I mean? Like
I don't see animation TV shows being 40 minutes long, but that would be like new. Because
I mean, Netflix does it. Netflix does like the 35 minutes now, and
35, but I don't expect like an hour long episode.
I know shows have. I know they do that now. Not often. It's not like real popular.
It's rare, very rare that you get an hour episode of an animation. Yeah, that's not a movie.
I mean, I don't want to be that long, but I could see a good. I'll be honest to you guys. I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about right now. I don't know what that is. Alrighty, moving along here. Three Dells, what's happening with Gal Gadot right now? This has been a crazy story over the course of the last 3 weeks or so now. It came out. It was like 3 weeks ago. We had talked about where like things were saying that like, hey, I've had a meeting. I might be back in the DCU. It looks like I'm getting a 3rd movie. That's what had come out. And then within the last week, sources had said, actually, meetings like this had never happened. Wonder Woman is not, like, she's not playing Wonder Woman in the DCU. That 3rd movie isn't happening. What are we thinking is happening with Wonder Woman?
My problem is I think people made things up, and one site was trying to make up rumors and gossip, and the other one corrected them. I don't think if it's not in a video, like in a live action interview, I like rarely believe sites.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need visual proof of her actually saying that. Otherwise, it's just words.
I think one or two things happened here. I think the one, which I don't like believing because I don't like thinking the worst in people. One is that she lied. She did all this for attention or to hopefully pressure DCU the studio to give her that 3rd movie or to keep her around. I don't like thinking that one. I don't like jumping that far. And 2, they did have those meetings. They did talk to her and be like, the future with you is bright. But things changed, things moved, things happened.
Yeah, and then there's
been a lot of things that's happened over the last couple months with just the internet culture, with the Flash, what happened with the Flash, what's happening with Blue Beetle, just the online talk, and that is no longer happening. Or 3, none of this was true at all, and scoopers and stuff have just been carrying this way too far.
Yeah,
Which is
they want
probably,
the James Gunn debunk this.
yeah. I
They
mean,
want to feel special.
yeah, it's hard for James Gunn to really, like. I think James Gunn's been really quiet recently because of the strikes, and I don't think, it's awkward because he is a writer and he's also sometimes an actor, but he's also like a CEO. Like, he's also a businessman, so he's like caught in the middle of this really bad race where it's like I can't really side with either. I think. Um,
And like I think like nothing happened. Like she didn't even say this, and it's just uh someone trying to make a story. And I believe like I visually saw James Gunn being like, where did this rebooted gal come from? Because that actually happened. He actually said that we haven't kicked her
mhm. Yeah,
yet.
I think he's really just trying to keep on top of things where like there's things that people say are happening that I've never said. Like he talked about like there's been a like with his thing with Rosie where he's like I never said there's a Lex Luthor in my movie. I never technically said there's a crypto in my movie. Those are what people are jumping to from like these like context clues.
They're
Um
trying to like uh, throw a bunch of speculation and
yeah.
they're doing. We got this covered.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah, I
taking.
mean, I think a lot of it is just like, oh yeah, we assume that a Superman Man movie would have Lex Luthor, but he technically never said he was having a Lex Luthor. I think we are. There's been enough, I think, casting rumors to say now that I think there is a Lex Luthor in this movie, but it hasn't been
as
officially confirmed yet.
as history has proven, there's been a Lex Luthor in almost every
Mm-hmm.
iteration of Superman, so it's a reasonable conclusion to say Superman's going to be in the DCU.
100%.
But
Ah,
but is it Superman Legacies? No, probably not. Or we don't know. Or maybe it's a little like Easter egg for a future project.
yeah, yeah. I mean, how we feel like how would you feel if Gal was our new Wonder Woman if she was still in that role?
It wouldn't and it's I wouldn't be like disappointed,
Hmm.
but at the same time I would be trying to like put it out there that this is not Wonder Woman 3. Wonder Woman 3
Oh,
died
100%. It would never be called that. No.
Patty when Patty Jenkins left the project.
Mhm. It'd
That
be
was
like
gone.
Wonder Woman New Age or something, right? Something
It would be Wonder Woman plus a new
headline.
subtitle
Yeah, 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 yeah.
like
100%.
Superman Legacy, so that there isn't going to be like. I think it's a smart way of doing sequels because you can like recast, you can change actors, you can pretty much do anything with Superman plus a subtitle. If it's Superman 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, you get the picture. That would mean like one actor for all of them.
Yeah.
So they could reboot and still have another title called Superman plus that name.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough because I do like Gal as this character. I've enjoyed her through the ups and downs. Like I don't think everything's been great, obviously. I feel like I would be more okay than a lot of people currently are because I know people have freaked out over the idea of her staying. Um, and I think she might be
because
the
people
most
are
like mixed
bent on the whole
character.
Henry Cavill.
Like I feel like she's the most mixed character in all of the like DCU because I feel like half the people love her so much and half the people hate her as this character. And I think Gal herself, I don't personally have an issue if she stayed, but I
Hmm.
do think there is an issue with with just what we're doing with the universe. Like the more time moves on, the more I do want more of a fresh reboot for everything. Like I think cherry picking. I think cherry picking will come at a price. I do think it's going to be very hard to pitch like, all right, we are rebooting. We got brand new Superman. We got new Wonder Woman. We have Green Lantern now. But then there's this lady from our old movies from 2016 or like whenever it came out, right? I think that's very hard to pitch, and that's very hard to people being like, wait, but I thought we rebooted. What is she doing here? You know what I mean? Um,
I will say that if Margaret Robbie is coming back as Harley Quinn, then I don't see the reason why Gal Gadot can't come back either, because it's I have a feeling that Harley will be back,
mm-hmm.
and I believe it's going to be Margaret Robbie.
Well, I mean, I think they'd be dumb now. After like Barbie, they would be lunatics to get rid of her. Absolutely insane men. But it's weird. I think Margot's a hard line. Margot's really hard because she is like John Cena. I think is really easy. I think anyone from Peacemaker is really easy. Bloodsport, I think they're all pretty easy because let's be honest, a lot of people didn't watch the Suicide Squad movie. As much as I love Suicide Squad Peacemaker, I think they're amazing. I think they're the best thing that they did. I think they're a lot easier. Margot, for a while, was almost like the face of the DCEU. Like, there was a time we didn't have Superman, we didn't have Batman, Wonder Woman hadn't appeared for a while, and we had Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad again. Like, she was like the one consistent thing that kept coming back. And I think people do remember that. Like, people know her for being part of, like, the DCEU. Like, that is Harley Quinn. So I do think she is the one difficult one. But I honestly, I could justify them being like, anyone that's Gunn worked with staying, everyone else goes. I think that's the easiest way to do it currently.
And yeah, like you said, the reboot, a hard reboot means everyone gets recasted.
Yeah.
So Margaret Robbie, bye bye. But if she stays, I don't see why more of them can stay, because if you're a real DC fan, you know that there's doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an easy concept to grasp that it's not going to be the Wonder Woman from 2017.
Yeah. I 17. But like also I can like I think comic book fans could grasp on pretty easily, right? They could be like, oh, this is a new Earth, so you can have that Wonder Woman, but this Flash, but this new Superman, right? Like us comic book fans can all be like, oh yeah, the multiverse is crazy like that. Modern like audiences, everyone who just
the normies.
Like, what is happening? Why do you have Christian Bale with Henry Cavill with Grant Gustin? What is happening? You know what I mean?
I honestly hate that we have to rely on them to have sequels.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of. We do kind of put it on them to make money. So
yeah. If it was just us and comic book movies, every single movie was a hit.
Mm-hmm. Lady Gaga will be Harley Quinn. That's in The Joker too.
That's Elseworlds.
Unless there's a weird thing where they're like, let's merge them. I don't think that's happening. Although I am very excited to see her version of Harley Quinn because I think she'll do great. The one DC thing we have next.
It's going to be a bad romance, you know.
Ooh, very much. I like Gal as Wonder Woman. I think she's perfect casting of Wonder Woman, but it's a new DC and there needs to be a new Trinity. If they're recasting Superman, Batman, do the same thing with Wonder Woman. I 100% agree. I think that Trinity, at least, I think the whole Justice League, like no matter who you keep outside of that, the whole Justice League needs to go. Jason Momoa, I love you, man. You're great. Give him Lobo, but he needs to go. He needs to get out of here. Wonder Woman, get out of here. I would say the same for Shazam as well, because I think Shazam holds a lot. As much as I do love his version of that character, he needs to get out of here. He needs to go. Although I don't know if we're doing anything with that character for a while. So
which character are you talking about?
Shazam.
Shazam. Yeah.
Shazam.
But also, now that I've seen, like, I've grown to like Shazam, it's kind of hard to not see Zachary Levi as Shazam.
I love his version of that character. I've been a fan of him since Tangled.
I was a fan of him since Chuck.
Yeah.
That's 2005, yo.
I will say though, like he has been in a lot of controversy recently, and I would if I agree with it or not. Like I don't really care if I agree with it or not. I want to start this universe fresh, of zero controversies, nothing. We've had enough controversies in the DCEU to last 50 years. Like this might be the most problematic universe. It's the most like I've never seen a film franchise more problematic than the DCEU. Each year there's something. If it's Ezra, if it's Amber, if it's the Ray, Zach Whedon thing, like the whole situation enough is like 20 years worth of drama. Like start off with nothing. No drama. Find people young enough to not get into trouble.
And also people that actually want to be in a franchise, they know what they're getting into, and not like Ben Affleck, who started and was like, "Oh wait, I don't want this,"
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and drops out.
I don't know the history with like Ben Affleck, but like cast people that are willing to do it for the next 10 years at least, because you need that.
Like
Which is why
the MCU was like founded on people getting a 6-picture deal.
Yeah.
And Iron Man, Thor, Captain America all got these contracts, and they've been in like 8, 9, 10 movies.
100%. Like let the characters swim around the actors. That's what I love. Mm-hmm. Like Robert was a relatively decent known actor, but he became Iron Man. Chris Evans became Captain America. Scarlet became Black Widow. I want that for here. Like David Cornsweet, for now, for the rest of his life, is now Superman. Like he's not done enough to be like, oh no, he's from the Flower, or like whatever it is, right? He's Superman forever. And like Blue Beetle is now Blue Beetle. Like as popular as Cobra Kai is, he is now Blue Beetle for the rest of his life, and I love that for him.
I honestly didn't know he was from Cobra Kai because I didn't watch it. So Beetle? For me, he's Blue Beetle for me.
Right, it's so good. I guess that's all I have here.
Ass.
That's all I have here. I bet this is going to be an ongoing story for the next couple of years. A couple months from now, we're going to be like, no, I am playing someone. I mean it, and we'll what to cover it again.
Who do you since Blue Beetle is the character is a DCU character in James Gunn's universe, but not like the movie's not like their first project.
Yeah.
What movie do you think Blue Beetle will appear in?
I think Booster Gold. I think is his first project. I think the post-credit scene of Booster Gold has something Marvel? Either. I think Booster Gold has something Blue Beetle related. If it's another Blue Beetle we've seen before, if it's a Ted Kord, if it's a Jaime, I think there's going to be something there. But I think his home is going to be Teen Titans. I think that's where they're going to stick him.
Do you think is it the reason why you think it's Booster Gold is because Smallville did it?
I mean, those two characters are usually connected to each other and have a history. I know he also has a history with Peacemaker, so maybe they could throw him on Peacemaker season 2. Who knows? Stranger, if anyone remembers Heroes Reborns, I've not seen Heroes, but I would like to at some point.
It's not one's Heroes, the other one is Heroes Reborn. There's two series.
I know that. I do.
But yeah, I loved him in Heroes Reborn. Zachary Levi, he plays a phenomenal pyrokinetic. He is also kind of like a semi bad guy. So you get to see a villain. You get to see a villain side of him, which is he blows out of the park.
I feel like I first knew him from the second Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. If anyone remember that movie? Oh yeah, he's like the little cousin. He's like throwing the falling ball and he hits the TV.
Yeah, that was he pulled a lot from Chuck with that role.
Oh, what a time. Alrighty, let's move along here. Will Marvel's Echo still release in 2023?
Nope.
So this is kind of an interesting one. I couldn't find an official source for this. I didn't see any of the main trade really talking about it. So take this with a grain of salt. Like everything we talk about here, I always want you guys to take what I say and then go look at it for yourself. Because who knows? I could be wrong. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like Echo is no longer on the slate for 2023. Now, it was originally supposed to be the final MCU project of 2023. It's supposed to come out in November. They had stated that it was going to drop all at once. They're going to be like spitting out all the episodes, which I thought was a weird choice, especially since this is the show with Daredevil and Kingpin and some other rumored Netflix heroes popping in.
People will like skip the entire thing just to watch
to watch 100%.
Yeah, Daredevil. If you do it weekly, they have to watch it all.
Yeah, don't tell people when they're popping. Like, people know they're in here, so you don't have to ask, is Daredevil in it? But don't tell them where, so they have to watch each episode to find out where they're popping in.
Yeah, because as soon as they read the synopsis, they can skip like the entire first 5 episodes and just watch the Daredevil one.
100%. Which but
I still think Nova's coming. I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be delayed, but I think Nova's still coming.
We'll talk about that comment in a second because that's a whole conversation. Yeah, drag out this episode. No, I mean, I think. Listen, I've said for weeks, like ever since the strike started, don't put this out this year. Don't put Echo out. For one, like this year, if this comes out, I think we'll have a total of 8 projects this year, 8 MCU projects this year. That is absurd. That is a lot of projects. Next year, studios will not have a lot to put out. They have stopped production. We'll have a couple of things here and there. There won't be a lot. Marvel has the chance to absolutely dominate where there's not much content coming out in 2024. They can, and again, this is going to get a lot of traction. Put Daredevil in all the trailers, put Kingpin in all the posters, do all that kind of stuff, like push them hard. As much as I think Echo is going to be, I think Echo will be good in the show. People don't know Echo, so you're going to want to push Daredevil and you're going to want to push Kingpin. Have it come out like March or something, like a time where there's not much else coming out, and I think the show does well.
For a second there, I had to figure out where I saw Echo because I was like, she does look familiar. Yeah, I was getting there. Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean, Echo was in such an uphill battle, and again, we've talked about Echo a good bit on here before, and I'm excited for Echo. And I've said for a while, I think the hate for Echo is unnecessary. Because the hate, obviously there's a bunch of hate. There's a lot of, just Marvel as a whole currently is getting a lot of hate, just in terms of they're putting out too much. The stuff they're putting out, a lot of people aren't enjoying. Obviously she's a woman, so she has to get hate because we hate women, right? 3 Dubs, that's how it goes. And of course she's just a character. That's been what people have been saying. It was we hate the show because who cares about a character called Echo? Who cares? But you could say that the same about who cares about Iron Man? We don't want an Iron Man movie. He's so, there's so many people that would have had, if Iron Man came out today, we'd be like, this is dumb. Look back to Guardians. Who knows a Guardians? I don't care about the Guardians. It's stupid. Who cares about Ant-Man? Ant-Man is stupid, which Ant-Man is stupid. That's a very stupid concept for a superhero, but he's great and we love him. And
folks from my parents' ages and stuff like that, they thought Robert Downey Jr. was off the rails and could never be back on top again.
Yeah.
And then you get Iron Man, and my parents okay. He crawled back out of the dump he was in. But yeah, he was he took the wrong turn in life and then got back on the right track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I just want if you watch Echo and you're like, hey, this isn't for me, that's fine. That's totally fine. But I do hope people at least give the show a shot. Give it like one episode. Let's just not judge it before we even see a trailer. Because let's be honest, we still don't know what the show's even about. Like, we know she's in it. We know Matt's in it. We know Kingpin's in it. That's really all we know.
We know that it's about Echo.
Yeah. Well, like, we know the characters that are in it. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm an expert on Echo. I don't know anything about Echo. I haven't read comics. Echo. I don't know. But that's exciting to me. Like, I'm excited to get to learn about Echo. That's why I love the MCU. Like, I'm more knowledgeable in DC than I am in Marvel because there's been a lot more, I just guess, content coming out with DC. Like, you have the Arrowverse, you have Smallville, you have the animated movie. Like, there's a lot more that's come out that I was able to see from DC than there have been with Marvel. Like, with Marvel, I've seen some of the like other stuff, but my main knowledge is what I've read and then the MCU, right? Yeah. And I'm so excited to learn about these characters. Like, all these characters I've got to learn through the MCU, and I think that's kind of special.
And with Marvel, it's kind of like a mystery because they're using characters that aren't well known.
Yeah.
So I've already said this, that I like when I don't know what's going to happen.
100%.
Because that's what a movie should be. If I can predict the ending, then it's not much fun. So like if I know the story from like day he was born, like Superman, it's not as much fun, but it's at the same time with Superman, it's still like interesting to see the different perspective of a different universe.
Yeah.
So there's the sci-fi-ness that overpowers the mystery that's not a mystery. Because obviously he comes from Krypton. We all know that.
The Stranger said, I also think it's super stupid to try to make Echo a binge watch. That was a terrible idea. Yeah. I'm nervous about the show as a whole because they had said that they weren't really done with the show, but they kind of forced them to wrap it up. Like, you're like, all right, you're done. And that's really concerning to me, especially with the track record of some of these other shows. To me, not a lot of them don't feel complete, or it felt like, okay, it's episode 8. We got to wrap things up now. I hope Echo wasn't one of those. I really, really do, but
my problem with the whole TV show aspect is they keep making one and dones. I'm tired of one and dones. I want to see if I'm being invested in a TV show, I want another story.
Yeah.
Because I'll be super disappointed if we just get like a breadcrumb and be like, wait till the movie comes out. I'm like,
well, yeah, they set it up like, you know, I talked about this way too much last week when we ranked all of the MCU shows. But I've said they're not made to be shows; they're made to be extended movies. Loki is the first one where it'd be like, this is a show. We're like, season 2 is coming, and I'm so excited to get that second season. And like, my pitch for that, like, it's hard. I get it's very hard with the MCU because like you have to work around everything else. So to have it connected, like to have it be multiple seasons yearly, you almost have to disconnect yourself from the MCU because you can't tie yourself into what's going on in the current timeline. That's why S.H.I.E.L.D. in later seasons were like kind of separated itself a little bit because you can't really like know what's going to happen in like Endgame and work around that. You know what I mean? So but I think they do need that. Like, I think they need, instead of like 9-10 shows, pick like 5, and each year just do one show. And have this rotating show, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like they hired a person to do a TV show on Loki, but they did not hire a Yep, he was. I just looked at his credits for the showrunner for Michael Waldron, and yeah, he's done TV shows. So I think they hired film people for the ones that felt like a film, like Secret Invasion. I and that's why for me it failed, because they structured it as a film
Mhm.
that split up. So I think if they want a TV show, they should hire TV show
Mhm.
directors and showrunners, because they know how a TV show is structured
I'm
to make it
praying
more.
hard for Daredevil, because that, like, to me, like, by the sounds of it, that sounds like a show. That's 18
Yeah.
episodes. When was the last time we saw an 18 episode series? Like, that takes me back to like CW era, 22 episode. Like, I hope they made that like a TV show. Structure it like he is a lawyer. Structure it like a episodic vigilante show. That's what I want. And I want more of that. Like, I want Miss Marvel to have that treatment, because I think she's a character that works in that template. Just keep doing what Loki's doing, because I think they're doing a great job. Bring back Agents of Shield or something. I don't know. Sharon said rip Nova. So Nova's a weird one. I talked about this a little bit last week. Like, Nova, it's a weird one, because it's something's happening with Nova, but they never officially announced Nova. Like Bob Iger like never came out and be like Nova 2025. You know, like there's never been a thing like that. Same thing with
They,
like Vision Quest and
they did. They actually during one of the M23 cons that they do each year, when they started phase 3, I think it was phase 3. They like put up a list of characters, and Nova was on it.
mm,
It was announced that he's coming. We just don't know
mm.
when.
Yeah, I mean, I bet that draft was gone a long time ago, though. You know what I mean?
It
Uh,
came. It still came to fruition. A bunch of them.
yeah.
Echo came to fruition. Um,
I don't remember Nova, but like again, like he's a character that I think he is coming. Like I know the rumor is like I know people have said like he's in the Marvels and that's the post credit, whatever. Like the rumor was he was in Guardians 2 and then he was in Guardians, whatever. I do we still want Nova? Like
yes, obviously. Nova is like an awesome character that
Nova is cool. Nova is cool. I'm just trying to think of like because I know like oversaturation's an issue currently, and I do think that is a big issue for me. Is that there is a lot, and I do think going forward they are going to prioritize what characters get shows and what characters don't, and what characters get movies and what characters don't. My pitch, honestly, is special presentation. Give him one of those, and then you can throw him in later on, right? If it's a Guardians movie, if it's Captain Marvel, whatever it is.
They from what I've read and also seen, like I was there, like I saw the screen where it said Nova. They announced him March 2022. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
But they didn't give a specific date.
Sure.
And I believe um I believe it's, for me, I think it's coming out in one of the phase 6. I believe it's going to happen in phase 6, because there's a lot of projects that are missing on that.
True, true, true. I I could also see a phase 7 when we kind of start introducing like the Mutants, Fantastic Four type era for them. I could see that.
Well, Fantastic Four is coming out in phase 5.
Well, it
Uh,
is, but I'm saying I think phase
phase
7, 8, and 9 are going to be primarily Fantastic Four and X-Men focused.
I honestly, speaking of that, I would actually love a Avengers versus X-Men movie. That would be awesome. I'd be like in comic book heaven if that happened.
Maybe. Definitely not impossible. Alrighty, moving along here. The Marvels is described as really wacky and really silly, according to director Nia DaTosta. Hope I pronounced that right. So this kind of got a lot of like, I saw this be like put out, and I was like, gosh darn it, why would you say that? Okay, so that's not an issue to me. That headline, not an issue to me whatsoever. But I know it will be for so many
Triggered.
people. And if it isn't a trigger for people, they will make it a trigger for their thousands of YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
Any and everything that they could say the most polite, nicest things about this movie and be like, this is the coolest MCU movie to ever be put out. And they'll be like, it's woke. It's a woke movie. And I was like, darn it, they're gonna use this as their firepower, and they did. Do you have an issue with this movie potentially being wacky and silly?
Aren't they all wacky and silly at times? So no. I mean, Iron Man, even a serious character like that, had a wacky and silly moments. Eventually, he starts dancing in Iron Man 3. I mean, there's some like it's not unusual for Marvels to have a comedic side in the
which
movie.
which is what made that statement even funnier, because she's like, this is what makes the Marvels different from the rest of the MCU. It's wacky and silly, and I was like, we just had Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, no, like they had screaming goats, y'all. Like I don't know if you're going to be out wacky and sillying them.
I would say the best one of to show wacky and silly was Ragnarok. I believe
mm,
that was the most wacky and silly. I
but
believe the cancer storyline in Love and Thunder outweighed the whole wacky and silliness.
I think I think Ragnarok had a better balance, because
Yeah,
that's my issue with superhero mediums and them being silly or not. Because I like a good comedy, I like a good wacky and silly movie,
and
but you need to
do you know
balance
the
it with storytelling,
the
right? Okay,
backstory
so
about Ragnarok though?
mm,
It's actually 90% improv.
yeah, maybe.
So those are real like, hey, I got a guy with good joke. He's a guy from work.
Yeah. So okay, so I want to look at two DC TV shows, and I think one of these does this thing very well, and one of them doesn't, or not, they don't do it well all the time. So there's Legends of Tomorrow, and then there's Doom Patrol. I think these two shows are very similar in what they try to do, but I think one does it better. I think, and like, let's talk about the back half of Legends. I still really enjoy the back half of Legends for the most part, right? But especially in season 4, like, my big issue was they're just doing jokes all the time, and there's not often a punchline, and two, they almost forget to tell their actual story. They get into like the final 5, and they're like, oh shoot, we haven't done much with our main plot line at all, we need to fix that fast. And you get that a little bit in season 5 and 6 as well, where sometimes I think they get too carried away, they forget about telling a cool story to go along with it. And then you have Doom Patrol, which gets even more wacky and weird, even more silly, and just insanity. Like, there's an episode where Robot Man fights Jesus, and it's insane. But I think they pair it with dramatic storytelling and serious stories, and just a well written, well produced show. And I think it works much better there than it did Legends. And
Um,
I think they
yeah.
should look at that for the MCU as well. Like, Guardians is a great example of those. Are some pretty silly movies at times. They have a lot of jokes, they goof off, but they're balanced with some of the darkest stories the MCU has ever had. Each movie can get really, really dark and emotional at times. I've cried in all of those movies. So,
Um, for me, Legends of Tomorrow felt like more like, of course they do jokes, but it didn't feel like it was rushed. Like it was like just for the scene. For instance, like sitcoms where it's forced because every single scene is a joke.
Mhm.
Where Legends of Tomorrow, it's situational.
Yeah.
Like they're put into a situation, and what they do and how they act is funny. To where it's not like they're just cracking up jokes. It's more like a situational joke
Hmm.
where like, oh, there's a dragon, you know.
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, I think, like, honestly, I think Legends fell more into the wacky than they did the silly
yeah,
because like they told jokes, but a lot of it wasn't funny for me. Like, it's entertaining watching them get into these crazy things, but
I
like I'm not like that's so funny, man. Like, it's like, oh, this is crazy. What is happening? You know what I mean?
um, it's kind of funny. Like when people talk about like it's not really fun, I'm like, okay, you gotta have like a sense of humor to actually laugh at these cringy jokes.
Yeah.
It's a wait it's a it's pretty much like it's wow, I'm drawing a blank on the word. Uh, it's like a acquired taste. There we go. I
Oh yeah, 100%. Like this isn't me bashing Legends because like I'm one of the people that like, enjoy Legends. Like there was a couple of seasons I fell off, but like I loved it at the start and I ultimately loved it at the end. So like this isn't me being like screw Legends. But I do think there's things that didn't work for me, right? Obviously.
yeah. This feels like a um like soft, wacky, and silly compared to like She-Hulk, where everything was pretty much a joke.
Yeah, I mean the like trailers don't give off like I guess it kind of comes off quirky. Like these characters are very like it seems fun. It seems like a fun adventure, but it doesn't. And I guess like since she is a kid and since she's going to be fangirling, I guess there might be a little bit of wackiness. But it like none of the trailers come across as like a comedy to me. It does still feel like this in line with a lot of your other
Yeah,
MCU projects.
Miss Marvel is like a kid, so you got like she's going to not take things seriously like the adults in the show.
Yeah, I mean, like Miss Marvel, just based on like the like two trailers, I feel like Miss Marvel seems more wacky and silly than the like Marvels does. I don't know,
Again,
like
I think it's situational wackiness because
yeah,
she's being forced into a situation where she doesn't want to be in.
hmm
So you can see it in her face where she like throws a tantrum when she when she gets thrown back to Earth. And so yeah, there's a situational funniness. It's more I guess natural for a natural funny to me. I don't believe it was forced. I believe, you have to be in the situation to make it funny.
yeah,
If
that's
it,
fair.
yeah. So for me, Miss Marvel, the young girl who is a kid would make jokes and not take things seriously. So obviously, it's going to have some wacky and silliness in it
Yeah,
because
I mean, I assume a lot of it is going to come in the form of her geeking out the whole time because she's
Mhm.
in front of two of these heroes that she admires, right? Like, and I think
One,
there's going.
she actually admires one.
Well, I mean, they're both superheroes now, so she would admire both. Like, she loves just the fact that
I,
the fact that they both have superpowers. She's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean?
I think she will grow fond of Monica Rambeau, but she will automatically click with Captain Marvel.
Mhm. I get very much like mom and dad are fighting vibes, and there's her in the middle being like sunshine and rainbows and butterflies, and I
This
love
is the
everything.
greatest life I've ever lived.
I I think Miss Marvel's going to carry the show for sure. Like I'm so excited just to have her back on the big screen.
And
She's
the
been one of my
behind the
favorites.
scenes talk about if they don't know something, just ask
Yep.
her because she's
Yep.
actually a fan. She actually knows her content.
It's so inspiring. Like she goes from being a fan to being like, all right, we're gonna give you a TV show in a world you love. And it's like, oh my gosh, and it's like, all right, that now we're giving you a movie. It's like, what? This is insane. And now it's like, okay, now would you like to write these comics? Like we're rebooting the like Miss Marvel comics. Would you like to be a part of that? Would you like to co-write this? And like I can just not imagine what that's like as a fan. Like that's so like can you imagine if we got that? If like they're like, hey, Three Dubs, we want you to be a part of this Smallville season 11. You're like, what? Like like Darren,
Sign
like
me up
Darren, how would you feel about being about the Flash season 10? Like what? I would love like I can't imagine what that's like.
Holy crap, a dream come true. Thanks for putting that in existence. But as I was about to say, I think it's with the TV shows tying into the movies, I think it was well thought out with like uh Wanda and WandaVision, and then going into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
mm,
I believe that was okay. I believe Miss Marvel going into the Marvels was okay. Um, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a little sketchy because of the distance between Captain America 4.
it's gonna be a long time. I
Yeah,
saw it the other day where apparently there's been 18 projects since we've last seen Sam.
yeah.
That is absurd.
That's where the line of it didn't work out.
Invasion, man. I really think that.
And then you have like Hawkeye. We have Kate Bishop that we are dying to see again, but it's a long road for her.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen where she's going.
Yeah, I talked about it last week. Phase 4 needed a. I'm not saying an Avengers movie. I'm not saying it had to be an Avengers movie, but there should have been a event to bring everyone together. Bring at least all the Disney Plus characters together. And I think it should have been Secret Invasion. I really think that should have been that. Like, make it even a movie. Make Secret Invasion a movie. Have your Kate Bishop, have your Hawkeye, have your Cassie, have like maybe it's even like a Young Avengers, like on like an early like Young Avengers or something moving into
Young
there.
Avengers Secret Invasion. That would be
awesome. Needed something to look at Phase 4 and be like, okay, this is what everything has built to. And I think that's why a lot of people have lost interest because there haven't. I think like they're definitely building to a thing. Like we know they're building to a thing, but I think people are losing the sight of that. And it's like, why am I watching all these things again? Like, what's the point?
That's why I was. That's why I pretty much said online that Phase 4 is very, very hard to where the heck are they going for?
Yeah, 100%. I think we're going to look back at Phase 4 and be like, oh, okay, now I see what they were doing. That's a lot. Like it's gonna. We're gonna look back and think it's a lot better.
As soon as Secret Wars or the Avengers 4 and 5 or 5 and 6,
5 and 6.
Yeah, when 5 and 6 comes out, we'll watch it the entire story again and be like, oh, okay, now I see where they were going.
It's gonna be really funny seeing the people because like a lot of people have dropped off, but I know for a fact everyone is going to scramble to get caught up leading into those two movies, and they'll be like, wait, there's 67 projects I missed? What the heck? You know what I mean? Like 100% going to happen, and people are going to scramble and they're going to go brain dead from all the content they're watching.
Also, I think it once they realize it's like the TV shows are going to tie into the movies somehow. I believe it's going to make more sense. As soon, like for instance, Moon Knight, we don't. It's a 6-episode story, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's coming anytime soon.
Oh no.
I believe it's going to be a Secret Wars or King Dynasty is when he will appear.
I think, like, because I was always under the impression that maybe you did like a Midnight Suns or something where you bring all the kind of Freaky Friday characters together, but Blade isn't coming anytime soon. Like, like I could maybe see like a post-credit scene. Maybe you do something with Moon Knight there, but like,
I'll be honest, Blade wasn't really my favorite Marvel movies.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't see them either.
Oh,
Never
okay.
never really caught on to me.
Mm,
So, uh, having said that, I don't think it was wise to cast a person that's from Daredevil.
Luke Cage,
Um, oh,
actually. Like,
sorry, not Luke Cage. My bad, Luke Cage. For a series that's supposed to be set in the MCU.
yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. Like stuff
I
like that's happened
I I
before.
get doppelgangers and whatnot, but it better be a doppelganger.
I mean, I just say that they look similar. Like, and again, like Cottonmouth isn't appearing in the MCU anytime soon. Luke Cage is nowhere to be found.
Technically appearing in Blade.
But yeah, I it's fine. It's fine.
But they are doing the multiverse saga, so
It's
it
fine.
it could be a doppelganger.
Just that they won't even think about it. They'll just be like, they look incredibly similar. No one's seen Luke Cage in 10 years. It's fine.
Who has
um,
I watched it just yesterday. Just kidding.
I actually have not watched it.
You haven't watched Luke Cage?
I've seen like 3 episodes. Listen. When he comes back, and he will come back, I guarantee it. You know what? I'm saying it right now on stream, so we can go back to this and by in 2 years. He will appear in Daredevil Born Again. Luke Cage will be in Born Again. I guarantee it. I think all of them will. I think Jessica, Luke Cage, and Punisher. Not Iron Fist. I don't think he's popping in again. But
Wow.
those 3 will be in that show, and the show will be a Defenders 2.0. I think it will be kind of a soft wrap up of those characters.
What's kind of funny is I didn't have a problem with Iron Fist. I thought it was like a great show. The storyline was pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, at the same time, I get where there's what they're coming from, but I also, for me, it was action cool.
Mhm.
I like kung fu.
The Stranger. I'm just tired of people saying I'm done with Marvel now, and then 5 projects later, I'm now I'm done with Marvel. 12 projects later, I'm officially done with Marvel. That is a thing. I have the like inside joke where like there's that quote from a Secret Invasion, and he's like, even when I'm out, I'm in. And I think that embodies that whole culture a lot. And you know, listen, I don't blame people for dropping off at Marvel. There's a lot. Again, last year was like 7 projects. This year it's 8 projects. It's a lot, y'all. And we are at a point where you know, I encourage this with any project at all. If you are not enjoying it, stop watching it. If you are not enjoying what's on screen, if you're bored, if it's a chore, then it's like you're treating a TV or movie wrong because you're there to enjoy yourself. So, and there's a lot of fans where I would rather that they stop watching it instead of like complaining about every single thing that happens. Just stop watching it. Like let the people who are enjoying it enjoy it. I don't know. That's just kind of my take. But
Yeah, it's kind of like really bad for when you're trying to for people who don't drop it
mhm.
are trying to enjoy it, yet
Yeah, it's
it's
hard.
it's overpowering the whole hatred side of it. Like
Mhm.
we're getting like just like everything coming on us and being like,
Yeah.
you can't enjoy it because we don't enjoy it. I'm like, if you don't enjoy it, don't watch it. Don't tell us you don't like it. Just stop.
I think there's a balance. Like, there's definitely like, I had my problems with Secret Invasion, and I think it's okay to like talk about your problems. But I think if all you're doing is bashing everything, like it's all negative all the time, that's all you're posting about, just stop. Like,
It's
there
like
needs to be a balance. Like, talk
just
about stuff you did like as well. You know?
as an example, remember that girl said, I really hate how she delivered the I," and that's like they will like literally hate on anything.
No. Oh yeah. Like, there's very few like Guardians, like even Guardians. The Guardians, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. And that was the first Marvel project in a while I felt like people are liking it. Everyone's kind of in a group saying they like it. But even then there's a section be like, it's too dark. It's
the
too
first trilogy I actually liked 100% of the entire story. Like, he made it to where I felt for a raccoon. As he made me feel sad about a tree.
Yeah.
He made me feel sad for a human. For not having a real dad. But yeah, it's and also a father you don't want.
Guardians is great, man. I love that whole trilogy. Big fan.
I will say Volume 3 blows the other two out of the water, though.
Mm-hmm. I'm a cross between 2 and or 1 and 3. I think up there for me.
The start of the movies, I think 1 did it better. I like the hey the whole dance sequence. That was awesome.
Already here's Stranger. I think Ali is going to walk away from Blade. I could see that happening. It's been so long, man. Like they haven't even officially started filming. Like they're still in the writing stages, and we can't write anything. So
he has more time to bulk up.
I don't know. I think Fantastic Four and Blade are in a similar spot to me, where it's been so long with just no information at all, where I kind of don't care. Like I'm not like
information.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm more in for Blade than I am Fantastic Four right now. I'll be honest, I'm not feeling Fantastic Four. Like I bet it's gonna be great, but if I hear one more fan casting, I'm gonna scream. What? I need that cast out.
Oh, okay.
Well, every day there's a new fan casting for Reed Richards. I'm done with it. I am done. Just cast Jack Black as every character and call it a day. I'm fine with it.
I will say that it can't do any worse than the 2015 reboot. I literally wished my eyes didn't watch that.
That was bad.
Yeah. 2005, I don't know how they got from 2005 to 2015 and somehow made it worse.
Oh my! I really enjoy those
2 movies. I really like. I grew up with those. Those are my all-time favorites. As of now, I really like Silver Surfer. I didn't think Galactus was a good villain, but Silver Surfer was awesome. Mm-hmm. I like Human Torch, Chris Evans, awesome. They casted a perfect Mr. Terrific, in my opinion. There was a little sketchiness with the Invisible Woman, but I'm also a fan of Jessica Alba, so I didn't really have a problem with it. But yeah, I hope they don't do another origin story with Fantastic Four, because I can't stand the only one that I accept is the 2005 one, because that's how I would think they would get their powers, but not what happened in 2015. I thought that was stupid.
Alrighty, let's move along. Our last news story here: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin was officially announced. The game. So, have you heard about this game at all?
Yes.
I am very excited for this game. I thought this was a pretty nice segue for or I guess one of our big conversations here at the end. So I haven't read the comic per se, but from what I've heard, this comic, the comic surrounding it sounds just really, really cool. the plot sounds very fun. From what I hear, Michelangelo is the only surviving member of his brotherhood left. All the others have been murdered. They've all been killed, and he's the last one standing. And from the sounds of it, it just sounds like a really fun, just a fun game to play. Like I've haven't played too many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games before, but it just sounds like a lot of fun. Have you read this comic at all, or do you know this story?
I have played a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just hope it's better, more like Spider-Man-y, where you can actually control the character.
Mm. More like open world, yeah.
Yeah, more open world. Feel a little freedom.
Okay, so here's some information about it. Set in the future, darker toned, aimed at an older and mature audience. Based on a limited run graphic novel series, only one Ninja Turtle is still alive. Senior VP of Paramount compared it to a big ARPG like God of War. Coming exclusively current gen PS5, Xbox Series X, PC, developed by Black Forest Games, who made Destroy All Humans, likely still a few years away. This all sounds just like a lot of fun to me. Like I heard, again, I had never heard this comic before it was announced a couple years back, and then they officially was like, it's officially happening now. And it just sounds like such a fun concept. So I'm excited. I hope it does well. I don't know what you're doing in the chat, but oh well. Alrighty, let's move on. Sorry, I was looking at chat.
I was like, there's two.
Dealing with weirdos in the chat. But we're moving on. I want to talk about our next topic. We're heading towards the hour 30 mark, so we'll probably go until about 2 hours or so.
Right.
Our next topic here, and we do want to warn out for spoilers if you have not seen it. We are now talking about My Adventures with Superman. Episode 7 came out this week. And boy, oh boy, what a episode this was. 3Dubs, I don't think I've had you on since My Adventures with Superman have officially started. Are you enjoying the show currently?
Yes. I'm actually really enjoying it. Every single thing that people were complaining about, I don't have a problem with. Like with Lois's short hair and stuff, I'm like, your body shaming her. It's kind of an interesting take with the whole tech side of powers and stuff like that, but also at the same time very cool. It's different. Something I haven't seen before. There's obviously tech people with powers, so I know that exists, but primarily only tech is pretty awesome. So
yeah, I mean, that's been a big issue for people. Like I like the main complaint I'm hearing about the show is that they have a villain problem. And it's like, for me, it hasn't been an issue. I'm able to look at the changes they're making and just be like, it's an adaptation of these characters. We've seen so many versions of these different characters. I'm okay being like, they are, and I will say they can often be pretty shallow. Like, there's not a lot to some of these villains. But the way they look, the way they act, for me personally, I'm for it. I'm pretty okay with it. And I think if everything else around the show wasn't so good, then maybe I would have an issue. I'd be a little frustrated with it. But I think all the other characters, Clark, Lois, Jimmy, I think the way they handle the villains in the episodes are so well done that I can be like, I just don't care because everything else is so good.
And to talk about. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take, especially for this season. It was a dark season, like Cancer, not
Oh
cool.
no, I would say, I mean, these tones have been so drastically different. Like, I still prefer Superman Lois personally. I liked what they. I didn't want to say I liked, but I thought the story they told this season was super important, super powerful, and really got to me. And I loved it. Didn't love she had cancer.
Yeah, there
What
was an
they were able
episode.
to do with that storyline. But like, I'd be lying if I said like, which like, it's so weird because like one is I would say a lot more enjoyable to watch. Like I can put this
Yeah,
on, it's just all joy and happiness, and it's like each episode, I'm just like they're so cute, like they're so adorable to watch them.
yeah,
And I love that I have another Superman and Lois that I love. Like I love on almost every continuity. They are just like the best couple ever.
and with us, uh, I guess my all-time favorite Clark moment in season 3 would have to be that bar scene. I
It's so
just
good.
I can't get it out of my head. That was epically awesome. I cannot praise it enough. That was like
Mhm.
if people that saw that scene were getting thrown into Superman. That can't be a CW show. I'm like, it is, but it's better than what we've been having so far. It's like
Yeah.
I the acting is good, the action is good, the CGI is sometimes good. I mean, obviously the
Well, so,
Doomsday had a problem because
oh,
because
Doomsday was great, man.
they
For its
put all
budget.
their money into Doomsday, but that final shot, that's where the money dropped. Because you can see the cartoon Superman just going. But yeah, overall the season was dark but enjoyable.
Mhm.
It wasn't all 100% cancer, I would say.
No, and again, I think that what they did with the cancer was like amazing. Like I've never seen a storyline like a show do a cancer story that well. Like I really mean that. Um, it's actually kind of interesting comparing Superman Lois and My Adventures with Superman because they're kind of both doing a similar plotline for their first season, which is a member of the Lane family finding out that on another world Superman is evil. But like while it's happening, I'm still like, oh my gosh, the scene is so insane. What's Lois going to do? Like it doesn't feel repetitive to me, and I think it's very interesting that both are using kind of like the trope that Superman can turn evil to what I think will ultimately to boost up how good our Clark is, how genuine of a person he is, what makes our Clark so different from maybe a like Injustice Clark or like a Homelander or whatever it may be. And I'm so curious because that we've heard that these final 3 episodes are amazing. Like we've heard they're really good. And it ties the whole thing together very well. Do you think we end the season with getting like an evil Superman here?
No.
No,
I don't
I
think
mean
so.
I mean not our Superman, but do you think we
Yeah.
get another?
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I would like to see a good Superman versus bad
Okay,
Superman.
yeah, no, I'm not saying our Superman
I
turns
was
evil.
like,
I mean,
are you
it
turning
could,
him
I
evil?
guess. Like, if we do like red kryptonite or like whatever it is, right? Like maybe, but I don't think we're going that route. I hope
Um,
we're going that route.
so did they I'm trying to think back for like 2 weeks apparently. Do you think that the robots that we were seeing in Clark's vision was a premonition of
Mm,
Cadmus?
I don't know what's going on with the dreams because
Because
I assumed it had something to do with Brainiac because we had heard that we're potentially getting Brainiac at some point. So I assumed maybe it could be Cadmus's robots though,
yeah,
right?
I
Probably.
kind of had a feeling that it was Cadmus because they had the same red glowing eyes and stuff. I was like, I literally had to think about. I'm like, so did Cadmus destroy Krypton or something?
Weird twist. It was me, Amanda Waller. I blew up Krypton with my
all along.
Suicide Squad. She just gets like a bunch of her like she just gets Deathstroke and Boomerang and Harley Quinn and be like, all right. Weird.
With the suit up scenes, I actually I felt like it was a mix of Danny Phantom and Power Rangers all mixed in one.
It's fun. I get what. Okay, so I think what works, what I really liked about the show is like, in a weird way, this is Superman's origin story. This is him becoming Superman for the first time, which is a thing that we've said for many years. We know more Superman. Like, we don't want to see where he comes from. We want to jump in. But I think it's done in such a way where I never feel like I'm like so much is different. Like there's nothing there's nothing about this that feels similar to like Man of Steel or like the original Superman movies or Smallville. Like it's so drastically different from everything else, just from his like he's already like Lois already knows, Jimmy already knows, he already has this family behind him. He's fighting villains that are very not like early day Superman villains, which is really fun. He's fighting like Flash villains. It's like he's fighting like Heatwave. Like that's a random villain to put in here, but I love it and it feels so fresh.
Yeah, speaking of the whole Kryptons, like every single time that we've seen Krypton, it's different. So it feels intriguing to me because they don't make the same Krypton, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Man of Steel was more
Man of Steel looks great.
Avatar-y.
Like, yeah. Oh no, that's my favorite like Krypton, I think, just because
I was like, it feels more alien like.
Yeah.
And then you have Christopher Reeves, who it's just plain snow. And then you get Smallville, where there's actually cities and stuff. And then they even with Supergirl and Supergirl on Supergirl's Earth, when she was in Krypton, there's actually cities. So it feels different each time we see it, but the whole premise of it exploding is the same.
Sure.
I would be amazed if there's one where it wasn't destroyed and they just sent their son to Earth.
Vacation on Earth.
Vacation for 23 years. Or Earth is at the or Krypton realized that Earth is about to be destroyed and they need to send someone to save it.
Sure.
Because they're planetary savers.
It'd be really funny if they did it backwards. They're like, Earth is about to blow up. Let's send our child.
That'll be interesting to see.
It's like Bruce Wayne. They send Bruce Wayne to Krypton. That'd be crazy.
I think it would be interesting if they introduced Supergirl at the end of season 1.
I've heard a lot of people theorize this. I don't know. I feel like it's coming from. I feel like there's a leak or something because I'm hearing everyone say Supergirl at the end of season 1. That seems really early to me. You know what I mean? Like doing Supergirl in season 2, that feels very early, especially since it feels like Clark has barely got used to his powers, having to deal with another. I don't know. It just feels very early to me.
Yeah, unless it's a time jump, then I'll be okay with it.
I don't want a time jump though. I feel like.
Well, I mean, that's the only way I'll accept it.
I mean, a small time jump's fine. Like 6 months.
Like yes, like I wasn't thinking like 10 years. I was thinking like 2.
Yeah.
where he's fully in control of all of his powers.
I'm fine with the 6 month time jump that most shows do. That's fine with me.
Well, I mean, he can learn in 6 months.
I don't know. I guess it depends because I guess I don't know, but there was a casting and we kind of know that Brainiac is in this season or in next season or something. So maybe we'll see. I'm glad we are getting Brainiac though. I think that's pretty fun.
Who's the casting?
I forget his name, but he's in Lost. He's in season 6 of. Yes, that's him.
As soon as you said Lost, he's in season.
I know his name. I love that actor so much, but the name, it always escapes me.
Have you ever seen Person of Interest?
I have not.
You should watch that.
I love him in Arrow, and I love him in Lost. He's great in both.
Michael Emerson's in it. Michael Emerson, the guy that you like, is in it. So I recommend.
I have a long list of shows to watch, so maybe some
5 seasons. Amy Acker is also in it.
Fun. Let's talk about episode 7 a little bit. I forgot to write notes for this episode, but I almost feel like I don't need it because this was our big. Spoilers for the season or for this episode. If you've not seen it, I actually love how like episode 8 airs in like less than 1 hour. That's actually kind of funny. It's like literally about to air. What party yet? No, I was kidding. But episode 7 was our big multiverse episode, which if you would have told me when we started the season, you're like, all right, the season halfway through, we have a multiverse episode, I would not have believed you. Seems like a very weird placement to do a multiverse doppelganger episode, but
I'm more hopeful. I was kind of like hoping for a multiverse episode because of the fact that we're getting a crisis on Infinite Earths again. So, so we might actually see these characters again.
Maybe that'd be kind of fun.
But what happened with Mixie? I'm just gonna say Mixie. What happened with Mixie is he snapped his fingers and literally made him into the doppelganger. It wasn't actually a multiversal travel. He just like changed his appearance. And I thought it was well thought out. They used Earths that we have never name dropped in the Arrowverse.
Mm-hmm.
Every single Earth that they said was not mentioned in the other DC projects. Someone did the research.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking there's going to be a crossover. Like someone's going to say Earth 2, and we already know that Stargirl's on that Earth.
The only one that was kind of an issue, it wasn't even an issue, but they did say Earth Prime, but each Earth would say that they're Earth Prime. So I don't have like obviously like Oliver would say yes, they're Earth Prime, but like those Loises would be like no, Earth 7's Earth Prime, you know. So, but yeah, I will say just hearing another show say Earth Prime made me really happy because I miss my Earth Prime family. I hope
I don't think they even said Prime, Earth Prime. I think they said Prime Lois, which is
there was a thing on the thing that said Earth Prime on the like bar.
But, like, well, they also like
the thing on the thing.
Yeah. They also did the scene like so fast.
I mean,
like,
Prime Lois being Earth Prime.
I would think like the original Lois. I that's what my head is. Like when
but in Crisis, like I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter.
The Prime could actually mean original, like the original Earth.
In Crisis, they would have all been gone, right? But like, it depends if you even count that canon. Like, I guarantee the show wasn't like, well, we need to make sure the Arrowverse timeline lines up to our like they didn't care. Like they're just doing their own thing. Like they were nice enough to include all these other cameos and references to different stuff, and I'm so grateful for that, right? So like this isn't me complaining about like the darn people don't care about art, you know. I don't like that's I'm not complaining about that, right?
I would actually laugh my butt off if the crab came on, you know, when he was like Weird Earth, and then you see a red wave just erase him as a Crisis reference, and he goes, "Whoops, wrong Earth."
You think they didn't like overload us with cameos? Like I know currently
really cameos though. It was nods mostly.
Yeah, no, I mean we had the those bits where he's switching and he goes to like the DCAU, right? And like the classic Superman, and I know Lois had a couple of cameos and stuff like that, but I think you like this year especially, like everyone's like, I'm tired of the like multiverse, and I'm getting there too, with the Flash, with Spider-Verse, with everything everywhere all at
Yeah.
once. There's a lot right now, and there's
Talking
going to become even more with Deadpool, with like Beyond the Spider, like there's a lot still coming. And
when you're talking about the DCAU, are you talking about the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited?
yeah,
Um, technically, that's the yeah. I don't think it's the DCAU. I think it's
mm,
the
it just looks like similar.
um. Yeah, it looks similar,
Okay,
but totally different. Um. If I'm being correctly, I think it's a nod to a director, I believe. Verse. Um, the real DCAU is starts at Justice League War.
no, that's the DC AMU, right?
No,
I'm
no,
thinking of the DC.
it's hold on.
Like Justice League War, that's the DC AMU, right?
I think it's the DCAEU extended universe.
I was talking about the like Batman the animated series, and then Superman the animated series, and Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and like that was the what I was trying to talk about.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. Either way, they reference that universe, which it kind of would have been cool if they referenced the.
Bruce Tim. It's the Bruce Tim verse,
Okay.
which is awesome universe to be tied to.
I thought it was really cool. I thought it was, and I would not be shocked if they do a thing if they bring them back again for the Crisis movie, because I feel like that's the most iconic animated universe that we've ever seen. For sure, for sure.
And I also like how they did the continuity of the drawing each time Bruce Timm took over as the director for like Justice League Unlimited, Justice League. Everything that he did was kind of like the drawing was the same. Thought that was funny.
Absolutely. So we have 3 episodes left.
Mhm.
Do we have any theories going into these final 3?
Uh, I believe they're going to be more multiverse stuff
Do you
because,
think?
as Lois saw, um,
Mm,
there's going to be some sort of tie-in to that. Um, evil Supermans and stuff. Also, we may get to see more. Maybe even there might be even a breach to them coming over. So
mm,
I'm hoping for like an actual crossover where they actually talk, and maybe the voice actor who originally voiced Tim Daly voices Superman.
interesting. I don't know if I want like a bunch of cameos in these last couple. I don't know. Like
Right, bunch, just one or two.
I
Bad
feel like that
Superman
almost
and a good
underpays what this back half has been, or what the show's been. So I don't know. I think you could be onto something. I think it might just depend. Like I think the ending. I don't think we get another evil Superman, to be honest. I think it's more in line with Lois's feelings about Superman. I guess worry about Superman. I think there's going to be a lot of looking at Superman, who he is. Could he eventually turn evil?
what would
Um,
trigger him to turn evil.
yeah, and then because obviously we have the whole Suicide Squad stuff,
And
and I'm
that's what
curious if we wrap that up this season or if it carries over to season 2.
and that's why I think that we might get to see a version of evil Superman, because there has to be a common denominator of making sense of
Mm,
why Superman turns evil.
yeah,
So Lois has to figure that out so it doesn't happen.
sure.
And what if
Maybe
it's because Lois dies?
you think Lois dies? Lois
Uh,
doesn't die.
it's Adult Swim, so she could die.
No, it was
That
made for
beats him
Cartoon
to an
Network.
evil. It's
No.
Adult Swim. That's adultness.
Yeah, but it was meant for Cartoon Network.
Not
I mean, like,
anymore.
Cartoon Network isn't against killing, like they've killed before, but like,
I
I don't
mean, it
want
can get dark.
to. She's like the
It
kill
can,
lead.
it
I
can
don't
get
think she
dark
kills.
now because it's on Adult Swim.
Yeah. I mean, I could see maybe a world where like Amanda Waller gets her hands on an evil Superman and then makes them fight or something. Maybe.
Oh my gosh! Don't put that in existence, stranger. No, the one underneath it.
I know it's all right. I just want Young Justice back, man. That's all I want from DC. I still have not finished Young Justice. It got canceled, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not watching the back half.
And it
I still will.
it never actually got canceled. It just stopped production. Like,
Yeah.
they're
True.
not making anymore. It wasn't canceled.
Not officially. Hopefully, it comes back at some point. And when it does, make it the final season, or you're fired.
As the stranger said underneath that one, biggest cliffhanger of Superman season 1 will be the multiverse opens and out walks a seal. He tells Superman, "You're angry." I can see that happening. You're angry.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, let's talk about our final topic here. We don't have to talk about it too long, but I did want to at least mention it in one of our streams. And that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Came out about 2 weeks ago by this point, I think. Which was one of my most anticipated films of 2023. I was very excited for a new Turtles movie. We had heard that Seth Rogen was producing it, and that was a big, like, I don't know about the Seth Rogen fella. I don't know how I feel about that one. So you saw the movie, right? You saw it. How do you feel about it?
I'm not too keen on the animation. Like, it feels weird watching it, but I'm also I didn't that's not like I liked it. I just, the animation felt weird. It took a while to get used to. I think halfway through it, I finally got used to it. Uh, but it was a different take on um the mutants.
Yeah, it was.
I was completely shocked. They didn't all start out as bad guys, because when I think of um those two characters, I think of Out of the Shadows, and they're bad guys. They were once human.
I think this was a very interesting, because I think this was easily the best, like, as far as like a production from start to finish. I think it was easily the best Turtles movie. I think it's very well done, very well made. But again, I think, and as someone is growing up, I think this happens with a lot of people, where it's like, this is a little different than the Turtles I'm used to. It's a very different adaptation, and that sometimes takes a little getting used to. So there was my one time having seen it, and I do want to see it again at some points. There was like, I need to think about that thing before I think I can properly judge if I think that thing is good or not. And I think the answer is it is good, because a lot of other people are really loving this movie. They think it's a really good movie. So I do think a lot of the things I'm like, I don't know, are just the like, either that it's not for me side of things, or I need to get used to it side of things. But like, besides those few things where I was like, I'm not quite sure, I loved the movie. I thought it was a very well done movie. You talked about the like how the characters look and stuff, and I think it does. I think it does look very good, but it looks very. I think especially the humans. The humans look very gritty. The way they look ugly. But I think that's the point. They're supposed. I think look ugly and kind of look a little weird, because that's how the turtles are kind of seeing them. Like the humans are kind of seen as these like the people that are keeping them from living the life they want to live. And I think in that aspect, it does definitely really work with how they look.
Yeah,
I think the mutants, like you're talking about, was a wild thing, because like they were introduced in this movie, and like that, I think that was their big selling point, is that like, okay, in past turtle movies we've only really done like Shredder and Krang and like Bebop, and like that's kind of been it. Like they haven't gone outside of all these different
Rocksteady,
movies.
that's who the other one is.
Bebop and Rocksteady, like those are kind of the main ones that almost like those are the three you think of when you think of turtle villains. And this movie was like, okay, we're gonna give you like all the main ones, all the big bads that we normally give you. They're here now. And like halfway through the movie, you realize like, oh, they're really not villains. They're kind of just henchmen for the main villain. And by the end, of course, spoilers. I think I forgot to say that before. If you've not seen the movie, go see it. But when they end the movie,
Too late.
I know, like the end of the movie, and they're like, "We're gonna live with you guys. We're just gonna chill out in your sewer." I was like, "Oh, they're our friends. They're not like," because like they had said they're making a sequel and also a show, like 2 seasons of a show now. So I was like, oh, this is really brilliant. They're going to introduce all these villains in this movie, and then throughout the 2 seasons, they will be like these ongoing threats for us to deal with. But nope, they're just our friends for now, at least, unless they turn evil within the show.
And they did something that's never been seen before, and that's have the turtles actually go to high school.
That was an interesting twist that I'm very excited to explore, because that is so different. Like, and again, I think the highlight of these movies are the 4 turtles, the brotherhood of them. They are so good. They are so likable. These actors are brilliant. I love that they casted.
They
children.
did a 180 on us too, because usually the bad guys are the ones doing the bad guy, the Foot Clan, as you've seen in like the 1993 version. They would steal products and stuff. In this one, the turtles are doing it.
Yeah.
they're like doing their ninja stuff in the store, grabbing supplies.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, they did that in the original as well, right? They like went to the thing to get their stuff, and they ordered the pizza, and
they paid for it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they may have left money. I'm not sure.
We never saw it though.
That's true. That is a true point. We didn't see them leave some cheddar cheese.
And
but I mean, I guess they need to live, right? They have to.
They need the toiletries.
Absolutely. But no, I mean, I think I think the thing about the turtles in any era, they have to fit into the current age. And I think that's a thing that for me at least didn't really fit with the Michael Bay movies, is that those kind of felt like a franchise at a time. Like there was nothing that really fit the 2012. I think it was like 2012, 2016 or something. I don't know. I know. I think it was 2016, 2018. Like nothing about that felt like it took place in that time era, where like the 90s turtle, like there's Rocky references and there's Terminator, and they really made sure to remind you that this movie released in 2023.
I will say that one that really grossed me out was the cockroach. Like yeah, when he mutated her and made her a mutant, that was really, really gross to see. I'm like, I literally like, they're my enemy in my house, so I'm like, I don't like it.
Fair.
But I thought the story of Splinter and the cockroach was kind of weird. But at the same time, there's not a lot of choices for Splinter nowadays.
Splinter was definitely an interesting choice, and I think Splinter's one of those things as well. I'm going to have to again rewatch it to see if it's a thing I like, or if it's just a thing that's new and I need to get used to. Because I think I think Jackie Chan is amazing. I think he's such a fun choice for Splinter. they kind of like Splinter again. I'm used to Splinter being the very like the martial arts master that knows all and that trains his sons and in a certain direction. And this one, he kind of like his whole point in these movies is he kind of sucks. Like he's a dad that doesn't quite know what he's doing, and he's trying his best to be the best father he can be. But at the end of the day, like he didn't know kung fu. He's learning it from like YouTube videos and stuff like that, or like whatever it is. And he's having a hard time connecting with his son. So he's like pizza party, and like he's struggling. He's not in touch with his sons, and I think that's
feels like George Lopez's character in Blue Beetle. I know that we get that reference, but no one else will.
A little bit, I guess. A little bit.
He's like afraid of society. Like no cameras.
Yeah. And I think that was really good too. Like the scene where like the sons want to like I don't know why I call them sons, but like the turtles want to experience the real world, so he takes them up, and there's that scene where they get shunned. They're like this monster, like, and that that anxiety, that fear for him.
It makes more sense.
No, it's really good. Yeah, no,
it makes more sense now. If you watch the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action, you never actually get that.
No.
So it makes more sense that the reason why he's feared for people, but he also wants to protect them.
100%. No, I think Splinter was very well done. I wouldn't. Again, I do think there's some things about. Again, he's a very different Splinter than I'm used to. I overall think that's a good thing. I want difference. I want some new things, but I think the show is going to massively improve the movie, because I think. Again, like you're talking about the like 2012 shows, I think those shows work so well for the Turtles because you get to spend time with those characters. And I think having the first movie that sets the stage, having the show letting you grow with these characters, you get to go to high school with them, fight some bad guys, and I think by movie 2, we're going to be so in love with these characters that it's going to be such a fun time, I think.
And I was also reluctant. I eventually watched it. I was still reluctant of watching it. I was trying to put it off as far as I can. And then as I was listening to the reviews and kind of getting a glimpse of what's happening, I decided to watch it. But it took me like 3 weeks to watch it since it came out.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really well-made movie. I will say, like, it is I think it's just a different genre of film than the Turtles usually existed in. Like, I think it went from action comedy to action coming of age. I guess it is a coming of age movie more than the others. Like, Turtles always kind of are a coming of age movie, but it is in full force. Before it's a Turtles movie, it's a coming of age action comedy, I guess.
I did feel Raphael was a little soft-hearted, but also what his character usually is, which is, the brooding, angry type. Yeah, I felt like he felt soft, but at the same time, that's good, because there's got to be a turning point to make him angry.
Sure. like they definitely, I think a lot of the Turtles as they are right now aren't their full selves yet. And it feels like they are setting that stone. Like, there's even points where it's like, it's almost kind of hard to tell them apart at times, because they are kind of so neutral to where they become.
For example, Michelangelo, he feels more serious than his goofy self.
I would, and like, I will say, I think a lot of the things I like with the Ninja Turtles are their darker storylines and are how they can go. And I think it is the balance of the silly and goofy and serious and just their normal. Like, I think that's what makes the Turtles the Turtles. And there wasn't that much in this movie. I mean, there was in certain spots, but there wasn't that yet. But I'm curious again what the show does, what the sequel does. I would love if there's a point in the show where we see turning points, especially for Wrath. Like, obviously, he has those anger issues in him. I would love if something happens to him. If, like, maybe he maybe he maybe one of them almost dies and it's his fault, and that what kind of turns him into the more angrier, brooding turtle that we see because of that fear of losing his brothers. Or maybe he feels that his Leo isn't fully right to lead the group, and he's angry about that, and because he fears of losing them or something. I think that'd be, again, I'm just really excited to go on this journey with these turtles. I think this is a great I guess starting point, like a great bridge for what I think is going to be your like Turtles cinematic universe, because I think they're going to do spin-offs and franchises and all that things. As Paramount Plus likes money, and that's how that works around here.
Exactly.
Do you have? And I guess we could talk about kind of like the post-credit scene, because all movies need a post-credit scene now. Everyone needs a tease. We end it with
spoiler. I don't think I saw it.
Oh, you didn't see it? Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, it ends with them going to high school, and then you have you have the scientists doing their things to call him in, and then Shredder. They show Shredder.
They show Shredder. Okay.
Yeah, they tease Shredder. So I don't know if that's movie 2, if they'll save him for movie 3. I assume he's not going to appear in the show. I assume you'd want to save him. If he does appear in the show, maybe it's just to tease what he's going to do in the movie. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope they I hope it's good.
As always.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of final thoughts on the movie and anything else that we didn't talk about that you kind of wanna mention?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. We talked about pretty much everything that highlights the movie itself. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't quite talk about like one of my issues, and it wasn't even really an issue, probably just a me thing, but I do think there was a lot of name drops and I guess kind of cameos, and there's a lot of that in this movie, and I think Turtles always does it. Like if you look back at the 90s film, they reference Rocky and they reference the Terminator. There's a lot of movie references and stuff, but there's a lot of movie references in here. They reference the MCU, they reference Thanos, they reference Game of Thrones and Attack on Titans, and like almost every Who's texting me? What the heck? Almost every scene, it felt like they were referencing a thing, and sometimes I thought it got a little overwhelming for me, a little too much. It's like, okay, we get it, and it sometimes took me out of the movie a little bit, but that was one of my only nitpicks, I guess. Yeah. A while back, they announced a Shredder show. I heard that they had announced, I think it was like a Bebop and Rocksteady Paramount Plus show, but I don't know if that's still happening.
It also doesn't feel.
I think it was like live action too, and it was like, that's a weird choice. I don't know though. I think Paramount Plus is really going to dive into those like IPs though. Like I think Ninja Turtles and Sonic and Star Trek are going to be like their big things, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have. That's all I have for the show. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This was a fun one. We did make it to 2 hours. I wasn't sure if we would.
2 hours and 8.
I know. I guess we talked a lot about the like DCU and then the MCU for a while. Yeah.
You had topics that were interesting too, where it just like
chat also very much helped today. Thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun. Let's look at chat. Stranger was here today. Thank you, Stranger. DH1 was here. Thank you. I hope everyone had a good night. Some other people popped in trying to go up. Sab was here earlier. Thank you, Sub. Barrow was here. Thank you. Chainsaw was here. Always great to see her. Our good bud Chainsaw.
Chainsaw, is it her?
Did I say her?
Yeah, you said her.
I'm going with it, man. Great to see her. Good buddy Luke was here earlier. It was great to see Luke. Everyone who popped in, thank you so much. It's always a lot of fun. We always end our shows 3 dubs, where we talk about kind of things that we're working on, things that we're doing. Do you have any projects that you're kind of working on?
I just put out a new intro for since Cosmic Power Rangers gave their they released their intro with Billy. So I made an intro of the Arrowverse in the style of that.
Ooh, fun. And then we can catch you over on Party Nation as well every Tuesday, right?
Every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. CST.
I would never be caught alive on that darn show. Absolutely
Sure.
never.
Last week.
Nope, not me. I would never be caught alive. And for me, I should have another episode of Tuning In with Daren this probably Sunday. A new show that we launched since our last episode of the Pipeline, where basically I just talk about everything I watched throughout the week. We're thinking of changing the name up, changing some things up, and but I'm very excited to get the show off the ground. And maybe another video coming out at some point. I'm not sure. The Pipeline this week, I want to warn you guys early. Will probably be a lot earlier in the week. Like I have a special guest coming on, and it might be as early as like Sunday or Monday. So if you guys, just warning you early, if you want to join in that Blue Beetle discussion inside the chat, you might want to watch it a little earlier, as we'll be talking about it much earlier. But 3 dubs, thank you so much, man. Thank you for hopping on here. You were a lifesaver. I was like, who do we have on? And I was like, oh, it's been a while since we had our good bud 3 dubs here. So let's bring him back and have a good chat, man. But without it has it's been a minute, man. But without further ado, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. It was a real pleasure. I will see y'all on the flip side, though. Bye bye.